Hey guys, I just ordered some handle material I've been wanting to use for a long time. It's a maple burl with resin. The resin's blue, it looks really cool. I'm excited to use it. So I just ordered it. So right now I'm gonna go make a bushcraft knife. My forge is having some issues. I need to get it recoated, so I'll be using stock removal methods on this knife. I'm gonna be showing every step of the process so you can see exactly how to make one for yourself. Let's go make a knife. So for this knife, I'm using 1084 high carbon steel. I'm going with this shape because this is my favorite bushcraft knife shape. It's just a really good all-around knife for anything outdoors. And I haven't made a video on it yet, but I want to make a video showing all my favorite, or the best tools, the ones you've got to have in your shop. And the angle grinder is my favorite. If you're doing stock removal, or even if you're forging, you need to just cut something off really quick. Yeah, it's one of the best tools for the shop. So now I'm going to mark where I want the pinholes to be. And I just use these as a guide. A lot of times I change them. You'll notice sometimes I won't actually drill where I've marked it, because as I'm doing it, I go by eye, and if it looks like it needs to be further away, then that's what I'll do. The pins that I have are 3/16 pins, so I'm going to be using a 3/16 drill bit. I use the HSS, the high-speed steel. I tried a lot of different drill bits, and this one is my favorite. It lasts the longest. They are expensive, but it's definitely worth it. And I make sure when I first put it in, it spins straight. I'll show you what it looks like if you don't. I'm also using a drilling and cutting oil. This just helps your drill bits last longer. It'll start screaming when if it gets too hot. You cool it down. Because they are expensive, you don't want to waste any. So after the 2 pinholes, I'm going to use a smaller drill bit. And this one's just to make holes to lighten the handle a little bit, and also so the epoxy has something to stick onto. This is what it looks like if you don't have it in right. And you can see it's off center and spins all weird. So you just want to make sure you have it in exactly how it should be. With all my knives, I like to do 2 thermal cycles. This will just make sure that the blade is going to stay straight when I do the quench. It's really important when you're forging. There's a lot of stress put in the blade. When you're doing stock removal, there's not as big a chance it's going to warp, but it's just an extra layer of security to make sure it doesn't. Right here, I'm just getting my blade to non-magnetic, so as soon as the magnet doesn't stick, I know that it's ready. So now that I've quenched the blade, I want to make sure that it is straight. It looks really straight. Now I've got to test the hardness, so I'm using a file. And the file skates across it without digging into the steel that I know it's hardened. So the blade is hardened and tempered. Now I can start doing the grinds. I just got a whole bunch of belts from Combat Abrasives. I've never used them before, so I'm going to be doing the grinding with these. And then I'm going to see how well they hold up. I'm excited to use them. I've got an old belt. So I like to start it with an old belt, and then once I grind a little bit, then I'll switch to the brand new belts. And I do that because if I start with a brand new belt and I start grinding the bevels, it really wears on the belt quick. So I'm going to do that, and then I can switch to the new ones, and then I don't ruin them quite as fast. I'm using a layout fluid to see my center lines a lot easier on the blade. Then what I'm going to be doing is grinding my bevels to the center line on each side, and so I get it really symmetrical. I'm shaking it off in the summertime. This stuff dries really fast because it's getting cold. It's really not drying, and I'm just making sure it's not wet still before I do the lines. You also don't want it to dry too much, or else it's kind of hard to get it in there. So this is my used belt I'm going to start the bevels with, and as soon as I do it for a little bit, then I'll switch to the Combat Abrasive belts and see how well they hold up. After using the new belts on this knife, I really like the Combat Abrasive belts. They hold up more than the other ones do that I've used. A lot of times you only get one knife per belt. This one, there's still some of the grit left over, so held up really nice. And this is a 36 grit belt. It removed a lot of steel really easily, so I really like these. I'll be using them again. So the scales just got delivered. These are the maple burl resin scales. They look even better than in the picture. I really like the sections where the blue's coming through the wood. I think that'll look really cool when it's all finished. They are very light, a lot lighter than other materials I've used, so I just want to be careful as I'm handling them and doing the grinding. Well, I was cutting the second piece. I didn't even start cutting it. I heard a big sound coming from in here.
Looks like my blade snapped. So that sucks, but I don't really need a blade for the rest of that. I was just gonna save my grinding belt from having to just grind this off, but that's all right. I'll just do it that way instead. That's the first time I've ever had that happen.
On the hand sanding, I start with 120 grit sandpaper, and I work my way up to 2000 grit. This is my favorite part. This is where it all really comes together. I'm using boiled linseed oil for the handle. You can see as soon as it hits it, it really starts soaking in and brings out the contrast and the color. I ended up using 3 coats of oil for this one. A lot of knives just take a couple, but this one, it really soaked in there. Thanks for watching. This was a fun knife to make. I really liked using these hybrid scales. Let me know what you think of this knife, or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video.